things really heated up. Joe Rogan, alongside Terrence Howard and Katt Williams, broke their silence and brought to light disturbing files allegedly linked to Diddy. And as if that wasn't explosive enough, even Elon Musk jumped into the conversation, throwing heavy shade at several white celebrities who, according to him, are trying to disappear off the map after getting caught up in this mess. Well, if he was really recording everyone, look, there were a ton of people at those parties, right? What's the material you want to work with? He just stared at me and suddenly, okay, hey, can you help me? I asked. I want to hear your music. So I went over there and played the music, and he just sat there watching me like he was waiting. Okay. Then my assistant said something like, you know he wants to go out with you next week. And I thought, for what? He said, I think he's trying it with him. That's what my assistant said. I thought, Terrence, you know it feels rough, bro. Well, it's incredible how many people on Diddy's party list are also supporting Kamala Harris. Seriously, it's insane. Publicly, openly, it's like if Jotal, unclear reference, possibly a typo or obscure name, was her ex, and now decided he's warning people about Trump. And I'm like, well, wait a second. So how many people did he warn about Diddy? Zero. Right, okay, maybe we shouldn't trust his opinion. But let's be clear from the start. Everything being discussed here is based on speculation, theories circulating online, and accounts from people close to the behind the scenes of this media earthquake. What I'm doing is simply relaying what's being said. It's not an opinion. It's coverage of the facts exploding on news portals and social media. Now, what really freaked everyone out was the information that started leaking directly from the jail where Diddy is being held. Sources say he's considering revealing everything he knows to try and improve his situation. And according to Joe Rogan, Terrence, and Katt, if he really decides to talk, some very well-known public names could come to light. And some of them are totally unexpected. One of those names that surprised everyone was Steve Harvey, according to theories gaining traction online, and based on comments insinuated by Katt Williams. As soon as Harvey heard about the formal accusation against Diddy, he allegedly hightailed it out of the country, and he didn't stop there. He erased all traces of connection with the mogul, scrubbing his social media of mentions of Diddy, including a 2017 tweet where he called him a brother who was doing good for the youth. Today, that phrase seems to have aged very poorly indeed. Back when everything seemed normal, Steve Harvey was seen vacationing with Diddy in Italy. But he wasn't alone. Lori Harvey, his daughter, was also there. And at that time, she was dating Diddy. That's right, after breaking up with Justin Combs, Diddy's son, she started a relationship with her ex's own father, a situation that was controversial, to say the least. But the detail that unsettled many was a photo of Lori wearing white nail polish. At first glance, it might seem irrelevant, but those who have followed the development of the accusations against Diddy know that this detail has terrifying symbolic weight. In the lawsuit filed by Cassie, she claims Diddy forced all the women around him to wear white nails. The reason, according to her, was so that in the recordings of certain private parties, organized with less than innocent intentions, the white nails would create an explicit and disturbing contrast against the skin of his employees. These parties were allegedly recorded, and he kept these recordings secret. What's most shocking is that besides Cassie, other figures close to Diddy, like Young Miami and even his own mother, also appeared with this nail polish pattern. This raises a new question. Did Steve really know nothing? Or was he cozying up to Diddy for strategic reasons, looking to climb higher in Hollywood? Back then, Diddy was one of the most influential names in the industry, heading Revolt TV and having connections with some of the most powerful producers in entertainment. That's why many say that if Diddy decides to spill everything, we might finally understand why Steve disappeared so suddenly. Another name that popped up on the radar was Meek Mill. Ever since Diddy's arrest became public, Meek has remained completely silent. which is odd considering he and Diddy had a fairly close relationship. Who doesn't remember the video where Diddy appears in the pool calling Meek daddy and saying how much he admired him? That scene, which once seemed like just a joke, is now seen in a different light. The tone of the video aged poorly and has taken on a much darker meaning in the face of current accusations. And it doesn't end there. In one of the lawsuits against Diddy, Lil Rod, who also filed an action, stated that Diddy offered deals to Meek Mill in exchange for favors. When this information started circulating, Meek disappeared. He was seen traveling to Africa and posting enigmatic messages on social media, including one where he offered $100,000 to anyone who could help him find out who was trying to link him to the scandal. Many people believe this is nothing more than a damage control attempt, especially because rumors indicate that Meek might have appeared in recordings now in the hands of authorities. And if that's true, it's only a matter of time before everything comes out when the trials begin. Although he tries to act like nothing's wrong, the public isn't buying that facade. Another person who is visibly worried is Usher. From a very young age, he had a direct connection with Diddy. At just 13, he participated in what was called Diddy's Flavor Camp, an environment that is now being re-evaluated from a much darker perspective. Diddy's ex-bodyguard, Gene Deal, made damning statements, claiming that the singer was allegedly hospitalized after experiencing disturbing situations during that time. Gene claims he heard backstage stories from music industry executives that Usher had been taken to the hospital with unexplained injuries. At the time, no one knew for sure who the young man involved was. But later, with the revelation of names, everything started to make sense. Today, with new accounts indicating that minors are coming forward to share similar experiences, the matter takes on even greater gravity. And as if that weren't serious enough, an old interview of Kevin Hart with Diddy has resurfaced, where he jokes about waking up in the same bed as Usher when they were younger. At the time, the statement was met with laughter. But now, with all this coming to light, nobody finds it funny. If Usher has any involvement or is a victim in this network, he'd better have his legal team ready to act. Another important name that cannot be overlooked is Jay-Z. His long-standing friendship with Diddy was always marked by business deals and high-profile parties. But what raises a red flag is a case involving a woman named Kathy White. Old rumors suggested she was Jay-Z's mistress and, after allegedly becoming pregnant by him, died under suspicious circumstances. Behind-the-scenes theories say Diddy might know exactly what happened and perhaps even has compromising records. This isn't the only episode where Jay-Z's name has appeared. A few months ago, a lawsuit was filed by a woman who claimed to have been victimized by Diddy and Jay-Z at a party right after the 2000 VMAs at a private event in New York. But as the case progressed, several inconsistencies appeared. The woman said her father picked her up after the alleged incident, but when he testified, he claimed to remember nothing similar. She also mentioned a conversation with Benji Madden at the location, but the singer stated he wasn't even in New York on that date. When the judge decided to dismiss the case due to a lack of concrete evidence, many thought the storm had passed, but they were wrong. The fire was just beginning. Jaguar Wright, known for not mincing her words, took it upon herself to pour gasoline on the fire and point directly at Jay-Z. According to her, Jay-Z is not only on the same level as Diddy, but is even worse. He is the one, she said. And that's not an interpretation. It's a direct quote. Wright claimed that she currently has 3 people willing to testify against Jay-Z about what he allegedly did to them, and also about questionable behavior from his wife. They are a dark couple. They do things no one imagines. Do you think what happened with Kim Porter was a coincidence? People being held against their will, shipped out unconscious just like Aaliyah on that flight. Those are her words, and they resonated like a bombshell on social media. The singer also stated that, unlike many public figures, she never even took a picture with Jay-Z. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan. I knew what he was, everybody knew. He's carried that reputation for over 30 years. And for those who thought those words were just an outburst, came the reminder of a video that aged very poorly. Diddy's birthday party, where Jay-Z appears, oiled up alongside French Montana singing a strangely intimate and unsettling "Happy Birthday." Happy birthday, my dear friend. The scene already seemed awkward before, but now, after the FBI found over 1,000 bottles of body oil in Diddy's mansion, the video has gained a new layer of tension. The weirdness turned into evidence, and it didn't stop there. Jennifer Lopez also came onto the radar, all because of that nightclub shooting years ago when Diddy and rapper Shine were arrested. At the time, rumors said J-Lo was the one who hid the gun in her purse. More shockingly, she allegedly lied when testifying in court. Ironically, there was indeed a jury involved. Several people testified, including her. Now, one of the victims from that night, Natanya Rubin, is demanding the case be reopened. She claims that if necessary, she will allow the bullet fragment still lodged in her face to be removed, just to prove Jennifer lied all these years. According to Rubin, both Diddy and J-Lo should be held accountable, and if that happens, it could be the first time the singer faces real consequences. The tide definitely turned when whistleblowers like Katt Williams and Terrence also started pointing fingers at the white celebrities who suddenly vanished from the map. The question was clear. Where are these celebrities now? Katt has always got straight to the point. Those guys who frequented Puffy's parties knew what they were doing. They thought there would never be consequences. But when you trade your dignity for fame, there's no turning back. Even Elon Musk got in on the action. He reposted a post suggesting Ellen DeGeneres fled the country as soon as the Diddy scandal broke. And if you've been following, she's not just missing, she simply vanished. Recent images show her in a discreet pub in England, with a revamped look. Different hair, a more reserved posture. She said she moved to escape the American chaos, but few people are buying it. The truth is, she and Diddy were quite close. He frequently appeared on her talk show, always in an atmosphere of jokes, disguised flirtations, and ambiguous comments. "You're invited to all my parties," he'd say with a smile. In one interview, Diddy suggested having a party at her house, complete with an after-party on the top 2 floors of a hotel. The audience laughed, but today the laughter has turned to silence. In 2016, Ellen even tweeted Diddy, "Happy birthday, Cuddle E. McSnuggles staff," an overly cute nickname that now has many people suspicious. After all, why so much affection? Furthermore, the host has already been accused by former employees of leading one of the most toxic environments in Hollywood, and there are rumors that 2 of her former romantic partners died under suspicious circumstances. Current theories suggest Diddy may have helped cover up some of those cases. After Joe Rogan exposed the internal rot of the industry, Katt Williams spoke again, this time unfiltered. For years, many treated Katt like a lunatic. Now, with the pieces fitting together, he's starting to look like a misunderstood prophet. The rot, apparently, has no color. Leonardo DiCaprio, for example, was also singled out. When the case broke, Leo flew to Italy, claiming he needed to relax with his new girlfriend. But netizens didn't let it slide. Old photos from 1998 surfaced, taken at Diddy's mansion in East Hampton, with Leo looking very comfortable in a corner at one of the parties. And that wasn't all. Many people believe the growing support for Kamala Harris comes from millionaires who fear a possible Trump victory. This is because, according to sources close to federal investigations, the much-talked-about Epstein client list could be revealed, and among the feared names would be Leo's. In the 2000s, Diddy referred to Leonardo as his #1 guest for the infamous white parties. "You're at the top of my list," he'd say. But when the scandals began, Leo's team rushed to say they hadn't spoken in years. Another one who started acting strange was Ashton Kutcher. His connection to Diddy goes back to the Punk'd era. They ran the New York Marathon together, went to parties, and in an interview on Hot Ones, Ashton appeared visibly nervous when asked about the mogul's events. "I have a lot of stories, but I can't tell them," he said, laughing forcedly. Now we understand why. And this is just the beginning. While the dust hasn't even begun to settle, some celebrities are already disappearing from the map. A clear example is the couple Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. Although the media says their sudden move to Europe is just a new phase away from the public eye, the public on social media sees it differently. For many, what seems like a simple quest for tranquility sounds more like an early escape, an attempt to get away from the epicenter before the bomb explodes. And no matter how much they try to appear normal, this type of behavior has been repeated among other celebrities close to Diddy. It's no longer a coincidence. Closeness to private parties, old ties, and appearances at exclusive events are now being evaluated with different eyes. And the panic, though silent, is beginning to spread. But what really set the rumor mill on fire was an unexpected interview. Terrence Howard, a renowned Hollywood actor, decided to speak like never before. During his appearance on Patrick Bet-David's podcast, he revealed episodes that until now had only circulated in the darkest corners of the industry. He said Diddy approached him with a proposal that initially seemed professional, to mentor him in acting techniques, but it soon became clear that the invitation hid other intentions. Visits to the studio became more frequent, and artistic dialogue quickly diluted into a strange, uncomfortable, and entirely unethical environment. According to Terrence, it was his own assistant who had to warn him, "He wants something else. It's not acting." And from there, without hesitation, he completely distanced himself, cut ties, disappeared from the radar, and never answered again. And what's more serious, Diddy, according to Howard, wasn't the only one to attempt that kind of approach. The actor revealed that this predatory behavior also came from other producers, and that these kinds of moves are more common than people imagine. He said that when a man stands firm and doesn't accept certain invitations, he simply stops being welcome. Access is cut off, calls stop, and opportunities disappear. The industry closes doors as quickly as it once opened them. And he's not alone in this denunciation. Other names had already been exposing these covert dynamics. Katt Williams, for example, has reportedly turned down millions of dollars in contracts just to maintain his integrity. According to him, there are lines that, once crossed, don't allow you to return, and many people, out of ambition or fear, end up accepting these deals without understanding the true price. Katt said Diddy tried to get close to him on several occasions over the years, but he always kept his distance. And the point he emphasizes most is one that many are already questioning: the so-called dress standard, an alleged demand from the entertainment industry for black male actors to take on roles with comedic and effeminate connotations before achieving fame. Terrence Howard, Katt Williams, and even Dave Chappelle have already warned about this practice. Terrence claims it was precisely because he refused to follow that path that he was removed from the cast of Iron Man 2. It wasn't about money. It was about not fitting into what they expected of him. He didn't want to mold himself. He didn't accept becoming something that didn't represent his truth. Katt Williams recalled that during the production of Big Mama's House 2, they pressured him to accept a role in a dress. He refused and suggested Brandon T. Jackson, who ended up playing the character. According to Katt, he had advanced projects, big opportunities on the horizon, but everything evaporated after that refusal. Even Kevin Hart, who had publicly stated he would never wear that type of attire, ended up doing so, precisely during an appearance on Saturday Night Live, and it wasn't long before his career took off right after. Coincidence? Not for Katt. He claims that's the dirty game many agree to play. Either you dance to their tune, or they kick you off the dance floor. And when the industry decides to erase you, it doesn't matter how much talent, charisma, or experience you have. Dave Chappelle also faced this dilemma. During an interview with Oprah, he said he refused to wear a dress in a skit, arguing he didn't feel comfortable and that it crossed a personal line. The script was modified, but the discomfort remained, and shortly thereafter, he disappeared. He left everything and went to Africa in a move that was then labeled a breakdown. Today, many are beginning to see that disappearance from a different perspective. On social media, the public is more alert than ever. Comments like "all of Hollywood knows what happens behind the scenes and pretends not to see" are becoming increasingly common. And among so many theories, one of the most popular is, "I hope Epstein's list and Diddy's list come out soon, and that everyone involved pays for what they did." With Diddy's trial approaching, scheduled for May 2025, the atmosphere is one of a countdown. The feeling is that we are about to witness a historic turning of the page, not just for him, but for an entire industry that for decades hid its truths under the glare of the spotlights. Now I want to know your opinion. Do you think these stars are just trying to flee the public eye, or are they escaping something much darker? Comment below, and if you want to stay on top of every detail of this ever-growing web, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and click on the next video that appears on your screen, because the truth is just beginning to come out.